everyone, I'm Shaheen from The Content Mix, and I'm excited to be here with Jordanna Ber, head of localization at Rover.com, a global network of pet sitters and dog walkers. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so tell me where you are right now, and where the company is based as well.
So I'm located in Barcelona, which is where our EU HQ is, and our US office is based out of Seattle. And I have my trusty dog, Lomu, here as well.
Oh, I don't know if you can we can only see the bottom half of him.
That's basically most of his body anyways.
Yeah. Great. So, and then the company is based in Seattle, is that right?
Or? Yeah, our US HQ is in Seattle.
Okay, cool. So yeah, maybe you can just tell us a bit about your background and how you ended up working at Rover and getting into localization.
Sure. So I was born in Toronto, Canada. I studied design, graphic design, and marketing. I started out a lot like yourself in publishing, working for a youth media group. Then I segued into the marketing world a little bit more and worked for an incredible NGO called Rethink Breast Cancer. Was managing and launching their social and content for them. And I think there's really where I learned how to be brave and bold with content. They were really fearless, and it was an amazing place to learn about marketing. From there, I worked in the travel industry a bit, and then took a break to do an MBA in the UK before moving to Spain and finding my job right now.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, we have a very similar story.
Yeah.
Yeah, from North America, came to Europe to do an MBA. Yeah, very cool. And so how long have you been working at Rover?
I have been with Rover almost just about 3 years. It feels like longer though, because it's just been an amazing roller coaster, and we've grown so much in that time. So it's been really amazing.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the company does?
Yeah, so Rover is the world's largest marketplace of pet sitters and dog owners. We launched in 2015. So if you are a pet owner and you're looking for a dog sitter in your local neighborhood, we have an app that you can log on to and find a trusted 5-star dog sitter in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. So I think like an interesting topic for a lot of our listeners is like, as an international person, moving to Europe, how did you get into that first role with them? Like, how did you break into the job market?
Yeah, it's a funny story. I had a career advisor in the MBA who said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you're a North American coming to Europe, you don't want to do a triple jump of location, type of role, and company. But I did all of that. Exact opposite. I was job hunting and saw the role at DogBuddy, which was previously our company in Europe that Rover acquired in 2018. And I thought to myself, this is the only job I want. I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket and I'm going to go for this one. And I'm really happy it worked out. Yeah.
Awesome. So you just like worked really hard on that application, and I mean, you had like a contact there or something like.
No, I didn't have any contacts there. I think it was the first role in my life where I didn't know anybody and had no network, so it was really scary. But I ended up connecting with a couple people at the organization on LinkedIn ahead of time. And just chatting with them and seeing what roles were open in case this one didn't work out, or there was I was too late in applying, and yeah, it worked out for the best. But it was definitely a risk to take, to just kind of put all your eggs in one basket and hope for the best. I think I annoyed everyone in my life, sending them my cover letter and CV, and is it too funny? Is it too serious? Do I need to add more dog stuff? Should I put a photo of my dog? Yeah, so I think having personality and just going for it really was the key.
Yeah, they say like, I guess it kind of relates to content strategy in terms of like the more targeted you are in the audience you're trying to reach and the more tailored you are in your message, like the more chance of success you have, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. So very cool. Well, so maybe you can tell us a bit about what your day-to-day is like in your role, and also what the, because as you said, you were working for DogBuddy, which was then acquired by Rover, and in your role, I guess, changed quite a lot at that stage. So yeah, can you tell us a bit about the story? There.
Yeah, sure. So initially, I started out as a manager for the country brand team, which was the team of marketers, international group of marketers that was each in charge of one or two of our European markets. And they were in charge of all of the content, campaigns, and communication for the UK, France, Italy, Spain. And coming in being an English speaker was really intimidating, but everyone was so welcoming and really just showed me the ropes quickly. And now my day to day is working really closely with the marketing team, our product team, and our core ops team to ensure that all of our content and communications and the different features that we're going to release are adapted to the international markets. We also take care of Canada and French Canada as well. So making sure that if we're doing a marketing campaign, that it has it's meeting all of the legal rights or the legal in compliance for those markets, that it's tailored to that audience properly. It's really different every day, which is what I love about it. And of course, hanging out with the dogs in the office, which is always great.
Mm-hmm. So I guess Rover is an American company that was doing things all in English, and then so you've transitioned to, as they acquired this European business, like doing things in all the languages. Why is it so important to adapt to different languages? I mean, how much of your audience doesn't speak English?
Yeah, a good chunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're in 8 European markets. So Norway, Sweden, the Netherlands, Germany, UK, Spain, France, and Italy. I think that was 8. And when Rover acquired DogBuddy in 2018, the platform was only ever run in English. And I remember my manager asking me at the time to, if I could lead and head up the team that was going to localize and launch the product in Europe. And I hadn't had a ton of experience with localization at that point, other than what we were doing with our app and site. And I remember actually asking him, yeah, I can do that, but seems a little easy. I can take on more than that, which was completely wrong. It ended up being a huge project, gathering all of the content. I think no one in the organization knew how much content there was to put together and localize. Things like data formats for dog weights. We had a bug when we were launching where you would put in your dog weight in pounds. And when you saved it, it would go to kg. So you had a 10-pound dog, and then all of a sudden it was, 22 kg. It was like multiplying it and switching the format. So, there's little things that, you encounter that, are huge learning curves and lessons that you'll have along the way. So it was a really, really fun experience. And it was hard, but ultimately incredibly successful and really rewarding.
Yeah, so I guess in the beginning it was like localizing the app itself and like all the existing content, and then now it's like ongoing localization of all the content you produce for different channels.
Yeah, we had to make a lot of decisions on what to localize. So, whether to go for an Airbnb kind of global product and launch our social channels in one language in English. So combine all of them or have them separate. have one blog or have 10 blogs, which is completely different and, requires a much different skill set and a lot of time and budget. So there were a few trade-offs, but with our content, we knew that it was going to be so important to have that content in the local language and have it adapted for those markets. So yeah, we decided to put the forward work in. It would take a little bit longer and cost a little bit more, but ultimately we would be having a product that was and content that was adapted and going to fit the users.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's something like every global business has to decide in terms of like how much to localize and how much content to do in how many different languages. So what do you think are like the factors that are decisive on that? Like, what do you think it's necessarily the same for every business, or are there certain things you should consider? Like, I mean, maybe being depending on who your audience is, obviously, and yeah,
I think you hit the nail on the head there. Really, like it depends on the audience. Being B2C, and one of the really important things for us, not only as marketers but as a company, was to instill trust. Whereas the Ubers and Airbnbs of the world, it's part of the marketplace sharing economy. Rover is, you're handing over your child or your fur child to a stranger, and there needs to be implicit trust there. So how do we build that? And language and localization is a key part of that trust. There's a lot more pieces to the puzzle, but we wanted to make sure that people felt comfortable. They could speak in their language when they call us. They could, read our content in their language, and they could understand and feel good about what they were doing.
Mm-hmm. So it's not only content; it's like your entire operations like work in all those languages.
Yeah. It makes it really fun to be in the office, especially in Barcelona, with people from, I think we have people from 20 different countries, and you hear, French and Spanish and Italian and dogs barking, and hear a little bit of every language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So could you tell me a bit about what Rover's approach is to content marketing?
Yeah, sure. It's a little bit different. We have a community of over 1 million dog obsessed or dog and cat obsessed people, and our approach to content is really to appeal to dog and cat people. So a lot of the things we post, whether it's a meme or a photo, it's the types of things like inside jokes that only dog or cat owners would laugh at or know. We kind of go with, we ask ourselves before we post something, is this going to make my non-dog owning friends a little bit weirded out? And if the answer is yes, then we post it. So, from things like, I care deeply about 5 people in my life and roughly 500 dogs on Instagram that I've never met. So stuff like that, that's really delightful and makes people laugh and see themselves in it. We have a lot of humor in what we post, and our content and our business is so fun. So we get inspired by our dogs and our pets a lot.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So do you have to have a dog to work there?
You don't. You don't have to have one. And we have actually some of the people that don't have pets in the office. They actually have signed up as dog or cat sitters on the site. So we'll sometimes have guest dogs in the office as well, which is fun to mix things up as well. Right. So yeah, you don't have to. Not a requirement.
But it helps if you love pets. It sounds like
it does.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we can go into our rapid fire recommendations. I was wondering if you have an example of a piece of great content or a channel that you think does great content.
Yes, I do. Surprisingly dog related. If you haven't heard about it, there's an amazing Instagram account called We Rate Dogs. And people send in photos of their dogs and they rate them out of 10. Little spoiler alert that all the dogs are 10 out of 10 or over. They're all good dogs. And it's just the kind of content that we really need in, I think, this time. They also have started raising money for, people that can't afford surgeries or, certain situations with their pets. I always try to donate, but I'm never fast enough because it's always, fully funded in 10 minutes. And I was like, damn it.
Wow. That's cool. So it's kind of like a hot or not for dogs, but everyone's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all hot.
That's really cool. And then, do you recommend any resource for people working in marketing or localization?
I recently joined a group on LinkedIn called Women in Localization, which is an international group where everyone shares resources, different roles that are open, so job opportunities. They have a monthly newsletter, and it's great to speak with other people that are in the same industry as you and share insights. So I've been on there quite a bit lately.
Very cool. I'll definitely have to check that out. And then your favorite app at the moment?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say Rover.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, with COVID, it's been so, we haven't been able to travel. So now that Europe is opening its borders a little bit, slowly easing restrictions, I've been messaging my sitter on the app and like, hey, are you available this weekend? Can I drop my dog off here? So it's been really helpful. But aside from that, shameless plug, I've also been using the app Calm, which is a meditation app. It's really helped me during the pandemic and working from home and all the changes that are happening. Just plugging it in, doing a 15-minute, meditation, and being able to kind of get on with my day. Or at the end of the day, if I'm super wired, helping me to kind of shut down and transition to, my second home, after work.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I really like that app too. I'm a big fan of Calm. And so to end the interview, do you have any parting advice for anyone looking to get into localization or people working in the field?
Yeah, I think there's probably two pieces of advice I would give. The first one is data is your friend. Rover's an incredibly data-driven company, and I know a lot of marketers and especially content marketers can be afraid of the data side and leave that to the growth marketers or the analysts. But there's a lot of great tools out there that you can use to amplify your instincts and kind of test. And then you can kind of test, track, iterate, and scale what's really working. So I think combining things like we use at Rover, we use Ahrefs, SEO Clarity, and Sprout Social to draw insights and get inspiration for what content is really what content people are connecting with and what we think will kind of work next.
And you do that separately for each of the markets?
Yeah, we do. We track different markets because it's all language driven. So if you're doing social listening or you want to kind of see what keywords people are searching to find content that's similar to yours, you have to do it in the local language. So that's really, really key. And that's been a really great part of our strategy that seems to be working.
Very cool. Awesome. Those are great tips. Thanks so much, Jordanna, for sharing your insights with us.
Thanks so much for having me. It's great speaking with you.
And thanks everyone for listening in. For more perspectives on the content marketing industry in Europe, check out thecontentmix.com and keep tuning into the podcast. We're publishing interviews like this one every weekday. See you next time.